With all of your settings in place, you're now in position to start importing some of your opening balances. And let's start by looking at importing our fixed assets. Selecting the menus on the left hand side of the screen, we open up the assets area, and towards the bottom of that section, select import assets. On this page for importing assets, we have a shortcut link where we can download a template which we need to complete before we import the assets. On the screen we can see a completed import template. At the top of the template you have instructions which explain how the template should be completed. It is mandatory to complete information where the column headers are in yellow, so the asset group, the depreciation method, the purchase date, the description, the original cost and the accumulated depreciation to date must be complete before you attempt to import the template. The depreciation start date, which is the date from which the depreciation will be calculated from, will automatically default to the purchase date unless a separate date is entered there. The salvage value, also known as the expected residual value of an asset, can be set here if you wish. This will mean that the asset will not depreciate below the value that is set. If you have enabled provider tracking options in your company settings to use classes or locations as an example, it's important that your classes and locations have also been completed in the template. If you've enabled the setting but not selected a class or location, the template will not import. With our import template complete, we can now upload the assets. We can choose to browse for the file within our folders or simply drop the file in. The import screen contains details of all of the assets we are about to import, and if we wish we can make changes at this point, including changing the group, class and location and the depreciation rule. Some errors on the import will be detected. If I scroll down to the bottom of this import list, I can see that 2 boxes are in red where the asset group had been entered in error. I can select the correct asset group, and just towards the left of the list those 2 assets will also be identified, so we can make sure that we have resolved those before attempting to complete the import. After importing the assets, we will be directed to the asset register, and there's a separate tutorial that reviews the asset register in more detail. There are a couple of quick checks we can make to ensure that our assets have imported correctly. First of all, by selecting the summary option from the left menu, we have a very quick summary of our asset group totals, where we can see the brought forward cost figures and the accumulated depreciation to date for each of our asset groups. Another useful check can be found within our dashboard. If you come here for the first time, you may need just to refresh your browser. But what we can see within the asset register dashboard is the total cost of assets and the total depreciation to date, giving us our net book value. And from your accounting software, we also detect the net book value from your balance sheet. And this will be as of the next month end date, which in this instance would be 31st of January 2024. Towards the right of the asset register dashboard, we have this pie chart containing the net book values of your different asset groups.